celebrating Marilyn Monroe's birthday at the famous Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel in Hollywood, California, to visiting Spahn Ranch, where Charles Manson lived along with his followers back in the 1960s. I also visited several crime scenes, such as the Menendez house, as well as Bundy Drive in Brentwood, California, where sadly Nicole Simpson and Ron Goldman lost their lives back in the 1990s. Come with me as we explore my trip to Hollywood, California. Wednesday, my Cajun cuties. Yes, it's me, Anne-Marie, aka the Cajun Crime Queen from Carrico, Louisiana. Cajun born, Cajun bred, and when I die, I'll be Cajun dead. I hope after this video that you like, subscribe, and comment. And don't forget to press notification bell so you never miss a video from me, Anne-Marie. And as always, thank you all for joining me on this Wicked Wednesday evening as we discuss my trip to Hollywood, California. How are y'all doing on this Wicked Wednesday evening? Thank y'all once again for joining me tonight. I hope y'all are all having a great evening and a great week so far, and I hope y'all are all looking forward to the upcoming weekend. Tonight we are going to do things a little differently. Tonight I'm going to tell you all about my trip to Hollywood, California. I visited several crime scenes, of course, as a true crime lover. We went to the Wax Museum, we went to Ripley's. The girls and I did so many different things. I just enjoyed having my little girls with me, and it was a great time. I just want to share every single moment with y'all so y'all can know all about Hollywood, California. Now, of course, our first stop after I picked them up from the airport was Marilyn Monroe's grave. Of course, we had to go pay our respects to Marilyn Monroe. I mean, her birthday was June 1st, and she was turning 100. So we put the red lipstick on, we kissed her grave, and we took tons of pictures and paid our respects to the Queen, Marilyn Monroe. Right next to Marilyn Monroe's grave, of course, is the famous Hugh Hefner, who started the Playboy magazine. And there are several celebrities buried here at Pierce Brothers. There's Kirk Douglas, Dean Martin, Natalie Wood, of course, Marilyn Monroe and Hugh Hefner, Richard Simmons, Farrah Fawcett, Ryan O'Neal, Don Knotts, and that's just to name a few. This cemetery is filled with celebrities, and sadly, two people that were brutally murdered by their significant others. Dorothy Stratton, who died at the young age of 20 years old, who was murdered by her husband, Paul, and Dominique Dunn, who was also very young, who was murdered by John Sweeney, her boyfriend at the time. So, of course, that is always sad for me when I see their graves, but I do like to pay my respects to Dominique Dunn and Dorothy Stratton as well. This cemetery is beautiful. And I saw the employees setting up these white tablecloths on these tables. And of course, I had to be nosy. So I went up to them and I'm like, hey, are y'all doing anything for Marilyn Monroe's 100th birthday? But of course, they didn't say anything. They said, we don't know, we think so. But I'm sure they were doing something for the Queen. I mean, she was turning 100 years old. Of course, they were going to do something, but they didn't tell me. But if y'all are ever in California, y'all need to go to Pierce Brothers Cemetery and visit Marilyn Monroe's grave, which is absolutely beautiful, and everyone goes. So make sure y'all go see Marilyn if y'all ever in California. After we left the cemetery, we decided to drive to Beverly Hills, California. We saw the Beverly Wilshire Hotel, where, of course, the movie Pretty Woman was filmed. We sat outside at the restaurant. I think it's called On the Boulevard. We had a great lunch. Everything was fantastic. However, it was not cheap. No. Beverly Hills is very, very expensive. I mean, just a coffee's expensive, a smoothie's expensive, everything's expensive, but a very beautiful area, and the restaurant was excellent. I showed the girls the very exclusive shops. I showed them Chanel, Louis Vuitton, Dolce & Gabbana, Gucci. The shops were just everywhere, and they were huge. It wasn't just this little tiny shop like in New Orleans. These were big, huge stores. Louis Vuitton, I think, is like 2 stories. It's gorgeous in there, and they loved seeing everything. So we walked around, we saw everything. We got back in the car, and of course, we decided to drive to the Beverly Hills Hotel. I wanted to show them around. I've been several times, but I wanted them to see what the hotel was all about because it is very famous. Several celebrities have stayed there. Marilyn Monroe stayed there for a while. Elizabeth Taylor stayed there for a while. And we walked in, we went to the Polo Lounge. I showed them the pool area. I showed them the bungalows. Bungalows, remember that in True Beverly Hills, the movies? I think Shelley Long, I forgot what bungalow they were staying in, but I think it was maybe bungalow 4, can't remember. But I showed them the bungalows, we walked around, and they truly enjoyed it. The carpet to get into the hotels, a red carpet, you feel like a celebrity. It was just a wonderful experience for the girls. However, after that, guess where we went? Guess where we went? Yes, 722 North Elm Drive. Does that address sound familiar to y'all? Does it? Well, very familiar for me. It is the Menendez house. We drove by it, we stopped, I took a video, and the house has changed like crazy in the past 2 years, because the last time I went was the summer of 24. I drove by it. Now it has a big black tarp in front of it. The colors are different, and it was said it just sold for $17 million. I mean, that's a crazy amount of money for a house, but it's beautiful and it's in the middle of Beverly Hills. It is breathtaking. However, it is being remodeled, and you could tell it's being remodeled because the colors have changed in the past 2 years. And in my opinion, it is being remodeled because the Menendez series came out. A lot of people were probably going over there to take pictures, and maybe the owners didn't like it, so they are trying to change the house. However, no matter what you do to this house, no matter if you change the numbers on this house, the colors, what the house looks like, it will forever be an infamous crime scene. It will forever be the Menendez house. A brutal murder took place at that home on that property back in August of 1989. You can't escape the fact. You can't escape the fact what happened at this house on the property, no matter what the homeowners do. I mean, it's not like the Menendez brothers walked in there, gave their parents a sleeping pill, and they just never woke up. No, they blew them away in the living room. So this crime scene was brutal. I mean, there was blood everywhere. And it is very sad that the owners are trying to, get away from that, from all the people going to this house. I mean, I guess that's kind of like me visiting the house, because I am a true crime YouTube person. So I like to look at true crime things, but the owners are probably trying to get away from that. That's why they have this huge black tarp in front of the house. That's why they tried to move away from this. But no matter what you do to the house, a brutal crime took place in that house on that property. Another thing I noticed for the very first time this trip, I've been visiting the house since 2018. However, 6 years later in 2024, 8 years later in 2026, I noticed that the address is 722 North Elm Street, which Nightmare on Elm Street, the Freddy Krueger movies. Just realize Elm Street, you know what I'm saying? Similarities. Very creepy for me when I realized, when I was typing it in for the first time, this time I realized, oh my God, it's Elm Street, like Nightmare on Elm Street. So that was crazy to me, but we did drive by the Menendez house, which if y'all ever in Beverly Hills, it's 722 North Elm Street, or North Elm Drive. It's one of them. So if you're ever in the area, it is a beautiful home. However, I do believe that it has changed significantly, and I'm going to insert a video now of me when I visited the house. Anybody recognize this house behind me? Doesn't look the same, but this is the Menendez house. Eric and Lyle Menendez murdered their parents right here in August of 1989. On 722 North Elm Street in Beverly Hills. That's the house. After we left Beverly Hills, we decided to go to the Hollywood Forever Cemetery on 6000 Santa Monica Boulevard in Los Angeles. And I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I visited all the cemeteries in Los Angeles, Hollywood. I love them all. They are the most beautiful cemeteries you will ever see. However, Hollywood Forever Cemetery is absolutely my favorite. It is gorgeous. The landscape is beautiful. There's a big pond in the middle of the cemetery, peacocks walking around, cats coming out the bushes. It is just breathtaking. I could spend the day in this cemetery because it is gorgeous, and there are so many celebrities buried here. I wanted to pay my respects to all of them. People like Estelle Getty, Sophia from the Golden Girls, my favorite, Anne Heche, Judy Garland, Toto the dog from The Wizard of Oz, Mickey Rooney, Anton Yelchin, and sadly, Lorna Clarkson, who was murdered, we don't know for sure, at Phil Spector's house. If y'all remember that story, I covered Lorna Clarkson on my YouTube channel about 2 years ago, and that was a very sad case if y'all want to go watch it. But Lorna Clarkson is buried there as well. In my opinion, this is my personal opinion, I do believe that Phil Spector murdered her, but form your own opinion. It is a very beautiful cemetery. However, my favorite grave in this cemetery is Anton Yelchin. Anton Yelchin was an actor. He passed away about 10 years ago, I think in 2016. He was so very young, 27 years old. His grave is beautiful. He's standing on the film reel. It is gorgeous. The landscaping around it, it's located right in front of the pond. Anton Yelchin, it was said, was getting out of his Jeep, and he put the Jeep in park. He walked down to close his gate, and he didn't realize that his Jeep was rolling back and crushed him between the gates and his Jeep, and he sadly passed away from blunt traumatic asphyxia and was found the next morning. It was incredibly sad. However, his grave is the most beautiful grave at the cemetery. And even Burt Reynolds has a beautiful grave with his cowboy hat from Smokey and the Bandit. It is just a beautiful grave, a beautiful cemetery. So if y'all ever in the area, y'all have to go to Hollywood Forever Cemetery. Even Judy Garland's grave, it's all marble. You walking through doors, and it's it just takes your breath away. My girls took several pictures because, of course, they love The Wizard of Oz. This is Anton Yelchin, and this is his grave right here in Hollywood Forever Cemetery. And it is absolutely beautiful. 1989 until forever. He's standing on the film reel, as y'all can see. And Anton passed away due to being crushed by his own Jeep. He got out of his car. I think he was set to close the gate. And as he was closing the gate, his Jeep came back and crushed him, kind of wedged him between his Jeep and the gate, and he passed away. But his grave is absolutely beautiful. And this is at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery. I think this one is 6000 Santa Monica Boulevard, maybe, or street, I don't know. Judy Garland is buried here. Burt Reynolds is buried here. Mickey Rooney, Anne Heche, Toto the dog, several celebrities here. But this is Anton Yelchin, who I covered on my YouTube channel, and this was a very, very sad case, but he does have the most beautiful grave. This is him and his statue. After we left the Hollywood Forever Cemetery, we decided to go to the Hotel Roosevelt in Hollywood, California, where we would be staying to check in. And let me tell y'all something. I have stayed here several times. It is gorgeous. It is beautiful. If you like old hotels. Now, my brother was the one that told me about this hotel back in 2018 when he and I took the kids. And the hotel is very, very old, but very, very beautiful. It has that old smell. You know that old smell? That's the kind of smell it has. I like it. Some people don't like that, but I love old Hollywood. So, of course, it's located right in the middle of Hollywood, on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, across the street from the Chinese Theater. You walk out and you see all the stars. It is just beautiful. We check in, we go into the Marilyn Monroe suite. It is beautiful, it is gorgeous. The balcony is beautiful. We took pictures. We danced. I even danced on the balcony, which I'm sure y'all saw on my YouTube channel. I posted several videos of me dancing to Marilyn Monroe. We just had a great time doing all of those things. As soon as we arrived, the girls went to see the famous mirror that used to be in Marilyn Monroe's room, but is now moved by the stairs on the second floor in the Hollywood Roosevelt. Now, let me tell you all about this mirror. This mirror was in her room. However, it was moved because a lot of people, especially the maids at the hotel, say that they saw Marilyn Monroe's reflection in that mirror several times, and it freaked a lot of people out. So the mirror was removed and placed on the second floor at the Hollywood Roosevelt. I'm going to insert a picture now to show y'all exactly where the mirror is located. But y'all need to go see this mirror. It is beautiful. You could tell it's very old. Everything about this hotel I love. The lobby is beautiful. Where people can sit down and have drinks is beautiful. The floor is this brick, reddish brown. It is just breathtaking. Big beams above you. You'll need to go check out this hotel. Like I said, it's not for everybody. A lot of people say that, oh, it's too old. We don't want to stay in Hollywood. I'm not staying there. However, it is, in my opinion, the most beautiful hotel I've ever seen. But I do like old Hollywood. And after that, we decided to walk down the street and visit Marilyn Monroe's store, which is located right down the road from the hotel, right in front of McDonald's. We took several pictures and we honored Marilyn Monroe. We also saw Michael Jackson's store, and my girls put their hands in Marilyn Monroe's hands right in front of the Chinese theater. It was just a very fun night. The girls and I decided that we were going to go to the Wax Museum, where we saw several celebrities as wax. We saw The Rock, Elvis, Marilyn Monroe, Michael Jackson, Prince, Freddie Mercury, J-Lo. We had the best time going from room to room to room, looking at all of these celebrities that went wax. My favorite is the Audrey Hepburn wax figure and the Lucy wax figure with her Vitamina regimen. It's just a great place to go. And there's props, so you could put these props on and you could take a picture with the wax figures. It's really cool. You need to go check it out. After that, we decided to go to Ripley's Believe It or Not, which I really like. My little one got to take a picture with the world's tallest man. His figure's in there. Then we go from room to room to room. Of course, my favorite is the Marilyn Monroe room, where there's her dress that she sang, Happy Birthday, Mr. President. There are several of her things in there. There's her makeup, there's her vanity. It's just a beautiful little area. We had so much fun in that room. We sang, we looked at all the different things, the two-headed goat, the fish. It's very, very different, unique things in Ripley's Believe It or Not. As you're going up the stairs and down the stairs, it sounds like a piano. It's a very cool place to visit. So if you're ever in the area, you'll need to check out the Wax Museum as well as Ripley's Believe It or Not. Believe It or Not, it's really cool. After that, on our way back, we decided to stop at the Ghirardelli chocolate place so the girls can get ice cream. Very, very good ice cream. I'm going to tell you that right now. Very good. Like ice cream like you never tasted. However, very expensive. Very, very expensive. I think their ice cream, they got 2 ice creams with, toppings on it, Dubai chocolate, strawberries, all of this fun stuff. And it was like $40-something for 2 ice creams. So yes, Beverly Hills is expensive. Hollywood's expensive as well. California in general is very expensive. But if you're ever in the area, check out the Ghirardelli ice cream shop because they have the best ice cream and the best toppings. Now, when we arrived back at the hotel that evening, it was late and I wanted to go up to the 9th floor. Why did I want to go up to the 9th floor? Especially the room 928. Well, the room 928 is the room Montgomery Clift stayed in while living at the Hollywood Roosevelt back in the 50s. It said he was living there as he was filming a movie. He would stay there. He would practice his trumpet, practice his lines. He would smoke. He would drink coffee. And several people that have stayed in that room or on that floor say They have heard things. They have smelled things, such as coffee being brewed. However, there was no coffee. They smelled smoke in the room and nobody was smoking. There was also sightings of him sitting in a chair at the corner of the room, looking at the people while they slept, smoking a cigarette, which that would freak me out right there. People have also heard his trumpet being played as they're trying to sleep. They hear a trumpet being played in the hallway. They hear him rehearsing his lines. So several different things have happened on that floor. So of course I wanted to go on that floor and I wanted to see that room. I wanted to see what it was all about. The one thing I noticed on this floor, now there could be cameras on other floors like this. I don't know. I didn't go up every floor. I didn't. But I noticed several cameras on this floor, on the ninth floor in the Hollywood Roosevelt. So I'm wondering if maybe, just maybe, they put more cameras to see things. Who knows? But several people have said that they have seen and heard things, even smelled things on this floor and in his room. As a lot of you may know or may not know, Montgomery Clift passed away very, very young. He was very young. I can't remember how he passed away, but I believe he was in his 30s or his 40s. But it was said he did have a drinking problem, and his best friend was Elizabeth Taylor. He was a very charming, good-looking man, but I do believe he had several struggles. However, he did lead a very awesome life. He was a great actor, and it was said that he stayed in room 928 at the Hollywood Roosevelt. So if you're into that kind of thing, I need y'all to stay in this room. I need y'all to go look at just go walk around the floor, because I'm going to tell you this. My oldest daughter said when she walked away from room 928, she felt a presence following her. So just want to share that with y'all. So if y'all into that kind of thing, it's room 928 at the Hollywood Roosevelt where Montgomery Clift lived. The next morning, the girls and I woke up super early and drove to 12305 5th Helena Drive in Brentwood, California. Does that address sound familiar? It sounds very familiar to me. Y'all know whose address that is? That is Marilyn Monroe's former home where she passed away back in August of 1962. I want to see if I can see anything. Every time I visit her home, there's this huge gate in front of it. There's plants. I mean, you can't see anything. You can't see a roof. You can't see a door, a pool, nothing. It's completely enclosed. But I want to see if anything changed. However, nothing changed. I'm going to insert a picture of what I saw while I was at the home. I couldn't see anything. But I'm going to tell you all this. As I was filming her street, and I'll insert a video of me talking about her street and where her home is. As I was doing the video, I'm talking, a security guard with lights and a little SUV drives by, and I was like, oh, they were definitely looking for me. Yeah, let me tell y'all why I know they were looking for me. It was like 6 o'clock in the morning. No one was outside. Everything was quiet. And this security guard goes to this little side road where Marilyn Monroe lived in the end of this cul-de-sac. Of course, I'm sure the camera alerted him somebody was back there filming or taking a picture, and he was coming to look for me. Now, thank God I got away whenever I did, but he did kind of like bend down. I kind of saw him wave. So I don't know, but I think he was definitely alerted that somebody was back there. So thankfully nothing happened. I did take a video, which I'm going to insert for y'all now. Hey, how are y'all doing? I just want to show y'all where I am. You can't go to Marilyn Monroe's home. It's all fenced in and guarded. But look, right here. You see this right here? 5th Helena Drive. I'm trying to get it to y'all. She lived at 12305 5th Helena Drive, and here is a sign to her house right there. I just wanted to give y'all a quick look at that. Since we were already in Brentwood at Marilyn Monroe's home, we decided that we were going to drive to 875 Bundy Drive. Does that address sound familiar? Well, that is the address of Nicole Simpson, where she, along with her friend Ron Goldman, was sadly murdered in June of 1994. I want to see if anything changed. Again, I've been to the condo several times, but I want to see if anything was different. And there is something different. You can't really see the walkway. There's like these grass and bushes over where the crime happened, and it is now 879 Bundy Drive. The address changed. Like I said before at the Menendez house, you can change the colors of these homes, you can change the landscape, you could change the numbers, you could change anything you want. However, you cannot escape the fact that a brutal murder took place on the property right there in the front of the house. I mean, all of these people have these shrubs around the house, and I get it. Some people don't want to be affiliated with that. They don't want people to know that this is the home where a brutal murder took place. I get it. I totally get it. For me, if I bought something like that, you know, it wouldn't bother me if people were taking pictures or videos. I wouldn't want to change anything because that's just me. But for other people, they don't want people around their home, so they try to mask the home. They change the numbers, they change the property, they change everything. But like I always say, you can't change what happened on the property. So we did drive by. It looks completely different. I'm going to insert a picture now. But we did pass by where sadly Nicole Simpson along with Ron Goldman were murdered back in June of 1994. After we left Brentwood, California, we went to our favorite restaurant, Mel's Diner. Now, as a lot of you may know, my oldest daughter has been to California several times, but my baby hasn't. And she couldn't wait to go to Mel's Diner. It is definitely my favorite breakfast place. I have been all over the world, and Mel's Diner is definitely my favorite breakfast spot to eat. They have everything you could think of. I think it's 24 hours. It's located down the road from the Hollywood Roosevelt, across from Hollywood High, where my little girl took a picture right in front of. We just love Mel's Diner. If y'all in the area, y'all try my favorite, the avocado toast or the veggie omelet with a side of bacon. Everything over there is great. I mean, even the milkshakes are good. So y'all make sure to check out Mel's Diner. And I think the Hollywood Museum is located right next door. They have great things, several things at Marilyn Monroe. We didn't go this time, but I've been several times. So y'all need to check out the Hollywood Museum. After we left Mel's Diner, we decided to go to the Griffith Observatory. Now, it is located very high up. It is beautiful. It is the perfect spot to take a picture because in the background is the famous Hollywood sign. Now, I see the Hollywood sign all the time, but if you go up to the Griffith Observatory, there is the perfect shot of the Hollywood sign. So of course, both my little girls got in front of the sign. We took pictures and they just embraced the beautiful scenery because California is gorgeous, y'all. It is absolutely beautiful. The mountains, the hills, everything around it. You just got to take in the scenery. Now, another fun fact about the Griffith Observatory, Rebel Without a Cause was filmed there. Now, y'all know who was in that movie. Oh, Lord. Y'all know who was in that movie. The famous James Dean and Elizabeth Taylor, a powerful couple back in the 1950s. And they filmed Rebel Without a Cause at the Griffith Observatory. So I had to take that in. Y'all know I love me some James Dean and Elizabeth Taylor. Elizabeth Taylor is almost like Marilyn Monroe to me. I just love her. Sadly, James Dean died, I think at the young age of 24 when he got in a car accident. But I did take a picture of the girls in front of the James Dean sign, which I think most of the movie was filmed there, but I know some of the movie was filmed there. So if y'all ever in the area, make sure y'all check out the Griffith Observatory. Y'all can see the Hollywood sign, and y'all can be where a very famous movie with two very famous actors and actresses filmed back in the 1950s, Rebel Without a Cause, featuring Elizabeth Taylor and James Dean. After we left the Griffith Observatory, we decided to drive to Chatsworth, California. Why there? Well, Spahn Ranch was located there back in the 1960s. A man named George Spahn owned the ranch, and several movies were filmed there, and television series as well, such as The Lone Ranger and Bonanza. Now, Charles Manson and his followers decided to move into Spawn Ranch so they can live there. I think they moved in maybe in 1968, 1969, around that area. And the girls would do favors for George Spawn. I don't know what those favors were, but some kind of favors. I can only imagine. Use your imagination. They also helped keep up the ranch. They were helping George Spawn because I believe he was almost blind at the time. Another famous movie that was filmed there after it was torn down. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention. Spawn Ranch burned. There was a fire in California and everything was burned down. So there's nothing left. But the movie, I think it was in 2019, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, starring Brad Pitt, was filmed in this area. And we drove up there, parked at Rocky Creek Church, which is a church around that area. And we walked down, and that is when we got to the cave where Charles Manson and his followers took a famous picture back in the 1960s. They would come down here. There was also the rock located next to the cave where Charles Manson would sit and play the guitar and sing for his followers. It was a perfect circle. And it was said that his initials were carved into this rock, CM, but someone did come and take his initials off of this rock. The rock is still there. The cave is still there. It looks the same. It is beautiful, this area in these woods. And when I went down there, it was very hard to get down there. It's very steep, very scary. In fact, I wanted to go down there. Nothing was gonna stop me. At first I was like, y'all, I don't know if I can come down here, because it was so steep and so scary looking. There was bees everywhere. So I left my two girls at the top. I said, I'm just gonna go down there. I just want to see everything, you know, because I'm a true crime girl. I want to see what was going on down there. All of a sudden I'm taking a video and I hear my little girls coming down, you know, the steep hill. And they're like, we want to see too. So they followed me and they took it all in, and everything is pretty much the same. But I do have to tell you a very creepy story that happened while I was down there. So if you follow true crime like I do, a lot of you know that there is a tree in the area where Charles Manson took a picture with the cave, where he would sing on the rock to his followers. There is a tree full of bullet holes around this area where Charles Manson, along with his followers, would practice shooting at. They would shoot at this tree, and it was said that the bullet holes are still there. So I'm looking for this tree, okay? And I'm looking around. Everybody said you can't miss it. And I say to myself, I wonder if this is the tree, because I saw holes everywhere. Y'all, a branch fell right on the side of me as soon as I said that. Scared the living daylights out of me, okay? I was like, oh. And I was like, okay, this is a tree. This is a sign. This is the tree. It was very freaky to me, very crazy, very scary. I took a video of the tree. I took a picture of the tree, and I left. I skedaddled right away. I was like, that was weird. That was very weird. It could have just been a coincidence, but I just find that very crazy. So I took all my pictures. I took all my videos. I took it all in. I'm gonna insert a video for y'all now of everything I took while I was down there near Spawn Ranch. I am here today at Spawn Ranch, where Charles Manson and his family lived. I'm gonna turn the camera around and you're gonna see the famous cave where Charles Manson and his crew took pictures. See if I can take that. That's the cave. I'm gonna insert a picture right here so y'all can see it. But there's the cave where Charles Manson and his family would come down here to play instruments, to sing, to do whatever. Right there in that cave. This rock right here is the rock that Charles Manson used to sit on while he would play his guitar for his followers. Now, if you can see how this rock is edged, like you could tell it's cut, his initials, CM, were in this rock, and it was said that someone came and took his initials out of this rock. So he would sit right here in this circle, and he would play for his followers. And this is the tree that he and the followers used to shoot at.
And you see the bullet holes is still in the tree. This is from the late 1960s, and it's still all here and still the same. Charles Manson.
After we hiked around Spawn Ranch, and I'm going to tell y'all once again, it is very steep. It is very scary to get down there, but once you're down there, it's flat and you just walk up. And if you want to park, there is public parking near this church, and you just park there and you can walk down the freeway and go down to see where Charles Manson, the cave is, where his followers were, where he would sing, and the tree where the bullet holes are. Now, there was also said to be several beer cans down there because from what I gathered, Charles Manson didn't like his followers drinking. So a lot of these followers would go up there, they would drink, and they would throw the beer cans down here. And there was, people saying there was tons of beer cans down there. I didn't see any beer cans. Maybe y'all could tell me in the comments down below if y'all know where the beer cans are, but I didn't see any beer cans. After we left, we went to where the church was, and there's a beautiful area right where the church is. And if you look out by the rails, you could see exactly the location of Spawn Ranch. The exact location, I'm going to insert a picture here. You could tell it's the same scenery. However, Spawn Ranch did burn down, years and years ago. It is said there is still things down there that didn't belong on Spawn Ranch, like a wagon or something that wasn't burned down, but is still there. So if y'all ever in the area, y'all can park around this church. Y'all could take pictures to see where everything was. If you're not into true crime like I am, just go up there to just take in the scenery. It is so beautiful up there in Chatsworth, California. It's about a 45-minute drive from Hollywood, Los Angeles. So y'all just take that in if y'all ever in that area. After that, we went to the Munch Box. The Munch Box is a place that people say Charles Manson would sit and drink root beer floats and wait for Susan Atkins, who was dancing across the street. He would sit there with his followers and wait for Susan Atkins to get off. So of course I went to the Munch Box. I took pictures, and the seat cushions at the Munch Box, they've changed. They have covers on them. Well, I kept lifting the covers, and right at the end was this like leather, worn, torn seat cover. And I'm imagining that's where Charles Manson and his followers sat at while they were sitting at the Munch Box near Spawn Ranch.
It's not here anymore, but right here was where Spawn Ranch was located, where Charles Manson and his followers lived. Right here. It's no longer here anymore, as they had a fire and they lost everything. But this is exactly where Charles Manson and his followers lived for about a year or two.
After we left the Munch Box, the girls decided they wanted to go shopping. They were tired of visiting crime scenes. They were hot, they were hungry, they wanted to do something different. So we drove down to the Grove in California, where they decided to go shopping. We spent several hours down there. I watched them shop. They had huge smiles on their face, of course, because they were shopping. We had a great time. We got smoothies. We grabbed lunch. And after that, I said, okay, where y'all want to go? They said, Mama, wherever you want. So I decided to show them 150 Cielo Drive. Does that address sound familiar? That is the address where Sharon Tate, along with several others, were murdered by the Manson families in August of 1969. Now, Benedict Canyon, all of that is beautiful. The house was torn down back in the 1990s, but the property is still there. And when you go up to Cielo Drive, it's very windy. You have to go up the roads. There is a huge gate in front of the property, so you can't see anything. You can't, of course, I'm not going to jump the gate, but the house is no longer there. Now, this has never happened to me, but a lot of people that I know that have gone up there, they say that homeowners from other homes have cursed people out, have gotten mad because people are there. It is a very narrow road, so y'all be careful if you ever go. The address is now 166 Cielo Drive. The last owner of the house, I believe, was the Nine Inch Nails, one of the members of the Nine Inch Nails, and he said that he knew the house was going to be demolished. So when he left, he took the door. Now y'all know the famous door of the Cielo house, because Susan Atkins, it was said that she dipped the towel in Sharon Tate's blood and wrote the word pig on the front door. This is very sad. We didn't see anything. I just wanted to show the girls where the property was. Even though the address has changed, like I said several times in this video, no matter what happened, several people passed away on that property. Doesn't matter if you tear down the house. It doesn't matter if you change the address. A brutal murder took place on that property behind those gates. Sharon Tate, Jay Sebring, a very famous hairdresser, Abigail Folger, the heir to Folger's Coffee, Wojciech Wierkowski, a teenager, Stephen Parent, that was just there to sell a radio to his friend, the caretaker at the house. This was very sad, but no matter how you look at this, you can't change anything. A brutal murder took place on that property, so brutal that when the cops arrived, Abigail Folger was laying in the front yard and they thought she had a red gown on. They kept saying she had a red gown. It wasn't red, it was white. She had been stabbed so many times that her gown was now red. It was a very, very sad, tragic story. Now, since we were on Cielo Drive, I wanted to pay tribute to Sharon Tate, so I decided to go to El Coyote along with the girls. It's a famous Mexican restaurant. It is great. It's nothing fancy, but it is where Sharon Tate, along with her friends, had their last meal on August 8th, 1969. Sharon Tate went there. She sat in the booth. She knew people there because she lived near the restaurant. They ate, and sadly, they were murdered that night, in the middle of the night, August 9th, 1969, by Charles Manson and his followers. So I was there, and I think they just celebrated their 80th year open. Another fun fact about the El Coyote restaurant is the movie Once Upon a Time starring Brad Pitt. I think it was back in 2019. It was said that they sat in the same booth that Sharon Tate sat in, something like that, while they filmed the movie. So I thought that was pretty cool that they inserted that in the movie, which is, you know, it's a tribute to Sharon Tate. And sadly, she lost her life. I believe she was only 27 years old. She was just weeks from delivering her baby boy, and she was brutally murdered. And I believe, I don't know if a lot of y'all know this, but I heard this a long time ago. I don't know if this is true. I heard she was fatally stabbed several times, like dozens of times. And out of all the stab wounds, I think 3 of them would have been fatal. So Sharon Tate was just so brutally murdered while she was 9 months pregnant, 8 months, 9 months pregnant. And she told Susan Atkins, "You can do whatever you want to me. You can murder me. Just let me have my baby. All I want to do is have my baby." And I'm going to tell you this. Susan Atkins had had a baby like 8 months or a year and a half earlier. She didn't care about Sharon Tate. She didn't care about all the people that Charles Manson wanted her to kill. All she wanted to do was make Charles Manson happy. And she looked at a beautiful, Sharon Tate was gorgeous. And she looked at her while she was 8 months pregnant, weeks from delivering her baby boy, Paul, and she murdered her right there in her living room while she begged for her life. And this is just one of the saddest cases that I've ever heard and that I ever covered. So I just want to say once again, rest in peace, Sharon Tate, along with all of her friends. Y'all are in my prayers. And I just want to tell you that wherever Charles Manson is, he passed away in 2017. I'm sure he's not in a good place. And on our last day in Hollywood, California, the girls just wanted to walk around Hollywood, see the different stores, and sit by the famous Tropicana pool in Hollywood at the Hollywood Roosevelt. They had a great time. I had a great time visiting. Of course, I wanted to do so much more stuff. Of course, I want to go see the Playboy Mansion. I want to go see Michael Jackson's home. I think you can only go by the gates of the Playboy Mansion as well as Michael Jackson's home. But I did want to go, but there just wasn't enough hours in the day. But we wanted to do so many fun things. We did have a very fun time, and it was great spending time with my two little girls. I definitely will always cherish these memories with them. And I believe that they are both getting into true crime like I am. And I have a feeling my youngest one, I just had this feeling, and y'all can look back in a couple of years and say, you had the right feeling. I believe that she is going to go into something that deals with crime. I also believe that she is going to maybe start a YouTube channel talking about true crime just like her mama does. I just have that feeling because she is very interested in true crime. Not like my oldest daughter. My oldest daughter is going to be a nurse. She loves that. She's a caretaker. Where my little one, I believe, is going to be into something that has to do with crime, true crime. I don't know what it could be, but I just have that feeling. So I want all of y'all to visit Hollywood one day. Y'all don't have to do the true crime stuff. I'm not saying y'all have to go over there and see crime scenes and go to this house and that house. Y'all do whatever. There's so many things to see, especially if you're into old Hollywood. Old Hollywood is so fun and fantastic. You can go to different museums. You can see different things. The Hollywood Walk of Fame. Just go to different grocery stores. It's fun. Just take it all in. Go to Malibu, go to Santa Monica, just have a good time. So that's all of my trip to Hollywood, California, to celebrate Marilyn Monroe's 100th birthday. I didn't get to go to her grave for her 100th birthday because I had to return to work, but we did visit her grave just 2 days before. So if you're ever in the area, don't forget to visit Marilyn Monroe's grave. My final thought, I always give y'all my final thought. And my final thought is just go visit Hollywood, California and have fun. I know this video was different. It wasn't all about a true crime story like it normally is. However, it did have some true crime facts and we did talk about true crime. So I hope all of y'all enjoyed this video. I hope y'all liked my trip to Hollywood, California. And I hope after this video that you like, subscribe, and comment. And don't forget to press notification bell so you never miss a video from me, Anne Marie. And as always, stay safe. Always be aware of your surroundings and always know that I'm here for each and every one of you. I also want to thank you all for joining me tonight, and for you, I am truly grateful. So thank you very much. And as always, I love each and every one of you, and I will see you next week with more Cajun Crime Queen videos. Thank you once again. I love you. Bye.